Hey guys, hello everyone. Sampath here, and we have Kamil from CUX, and we have Francisco. Hey Francisco.
Hello, everyone.
Francisco, do you want to share a few words about yourself? People have been hearing like what I'm doing and who am I for like more than 40, 50 webinars now, and people know Kamil pretty good as well. So we would like to hear a few words about you. Before that,
Yeah, sure. I'm a SEO consultant. I work in Switzerland during the day, and during the night I work on my projects, mostly affiliate marketing. And I started using CUX for optimizing it. Later in the webinar, I will talk about how I managed to simply implement it and in like 1 to 2 days make the money back. Simple as that. So here I am. I'm 21 years old, so I'm very young, but I live on the net, and yeah, that's me.
nice. That's like a quick short intro. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Francisco. So Kamil, so we have had like a lot of questions regarding CUX about the product as well as about the offer and so on and on. So there's like a big bunch of questions we have received over emails and via private messages, and on Kamil especially has got like a lot of them that's keeping him busy. So Kamil, would you like to start with just like a few words about what kind of the top few questions that's been repeating over and over? Just give us some clarifications about. Let's just say that these are like FAQs that you have organized. So we can start the webinar with that, and then we can move on to use cases. So Kamil has got plenty of them, and Francisco here, he has got some, and I have a few things to share as well. So that's going to be the agenda for the webinar today, and we'll start with Kamil. And as always, I'll be in the background. I'm just going to turn off my cam for now.
All right. So I got tons of questions last day, which I'm really happy about it. I pick some common questions, and I would like to clarify the things that you asked me the most. So first thing, which is not clear or was not clear so far, is that what does it mean project, and why the Lollipop has different amount of the projects, and what does it mean at the end. So project basically is one website. So for example, if you want to observe the users on your blog, which is on a different domain than your marketing page, I would recommend to use two different projects. So you can add the project, generate the unique code that you have to paste to your site. That allows us to collect data and generate previews, heat maps, and all other analytics stuff. Second thing is that what is the retention time? And I already noticed that it's a little bit complicated here because we don't have retention time. It means that you have always access to the most recent. In Cake Plan, it would be 10,000 recordings, and in Lollipop, it's lower amount. It means that if you reach this point, the 10,000 of recordings, we will start replacing the oldest recordings with the newest one. So it's not resetting monthly, it's not lifetime limit, you have always access to the most recent recordings. Yes, exactly. Keep the questions coming and we'll get the answered today. The third common question was if we are GDPR ready. Yes, we are. This is especially important for the businesses running in Europe, for European customers. So basically, yes, we are. If you need any further details, I'm happy to share what we did on this field. Yes, I think those the most common questions. I'm happy to answer all others if you have.
Question. I mean,
Sure.
someone asked me. So we
Sure.
know the name CUX stands for C user experience, right? So
Yes.
is that the meaning, say in Polish language or something for the term CUX? What made you to go with that name? Like CUX, why exactly CUX? It could be like SEUX, or it could be like some kind of Lee, some kind of fancy name. So is there like any other reason? Like you are from Poland, so is there like a native language? Because I have seen like so many products named after Greek kings and good old Latin people. So I'm just curious.
So the history of the name is that yes, exactly. CUX is it's coming from C user experience, but if you say this name in Polish, it will be Cux, and it means something sweet. It's a slang name for the sweets. I don't know, chocolates, lollipops. All kinds of sweets. And that's why we built a story around the sweets, because the project that we started working on, they were it was for us as something sweet, something really nice, and yeah, basically as a candy to us, and because we also have a goal to make as easier as possible and as achievable as possible the analytics. So that's why we consider this application as a something sweet to us.
Now I understand the reason behind pricing as lollipop cake. Now I get it better. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So we are keeping the consistency in our communication. That's why also the pricing was named, because pretty much everywhere you have low, medium, high plan, or bronze, gold, and so on. So why not do something sweet? Exactly.
Nice. So, Kamil, if you can, I mean, obviously, I'm personally more curious to know about that. I mean, from the very beginning, we have had a few touch points about how CUX has been helpful for agencies, for affiliate marketers, for digital marketers, so on and on. There are like tons of use cases that we all can think of. Francisco has like a kick-ass examples that he'll be sharing with us later today. So, but I'm curious to start this webinar with because this webinar is going to be more about how to turn data into profits. Right now, I'm trying to understand how you and Paulina are using CUX to build a better version of CUX. How exactly are you using it? Can you share a few words about that?
All right. So when we spoke last week, what precisely we are going to share this in this webinar, I had tons of ideas, of use cases that I would like to share. I decided to show you my favorite use case that I already work with CUX. And I'm really happy to share. So if I can take like around 15 minutes would be great to tell you what we did.
We all would love to hear.
Okay, perfect. If I'm going to share my screen, if you have any questions, I will be available also on chat.
Okay.
So feel free to interrupt and ask questions.
Okay. Are you sharing your
Okay,
screen?
just
Okay.
yes,
Yep,
I'm sharing
we
the
can see it.
screen. Okay, perfect. So just before we go I would like to give you a little heads up what we are going to talk about, because the context matter. So what you see right now, this is a platform that that I would like to show you the research we did some time ago with CUX. This is one of our very old project. We started this years ago. I don't know. No, it's most probably it's not visible here, but we started it 11 years ago. Basically, it's a platform that allows you to upload the file. I will translate it everything. No worries. So it allows you to upload the file. And then you will get a unique URL to your file, so you can copy, paste, share. Basically, you can share with other, with your friends, with your family, over the internet. So 11 years ago, it was very high demand on this kind of platforms of applications, where we had very limited possibility to send files with emails, Bluetooth, and the technology, and especially the speed of the internet was not that good as we have right now. So that's why we built this blue service, which in our language calls wrzucacz. Yeah, it's a bit complicated, but never mind. When we start working on CUX, we started making researches on this platform to see how first how CUX works, but mostly how the people behave in a real world on real projects. So this was one of the first project we actually made a complete research with CUX, and we are doing it till now. So yes, as I said, when users start uploading files, they are getting the unique URL. So it means after a couple of months running already, we had hundreds of thousands of URLs. This is the example of the page. You have the thumbnail or icon of the page, the title, some details, possibility to share on Facebook, abuse report, links to share. And a couple of months ago, we switched to yes, we just simply removed the call to action, and yes, I can show you this right now. But some time ago, it was the call to action where you can just simply download the file. So we wanted to check the basic thing. We noticed that in Google Analytics, it shows us that the drop. I'm sorry, I lost the name. Maybe Francis may help me. Yeah, I mean, when the users come to your website and they are going out very fast, this is. Oh yes, the name I was looking for is a bounce rate. So we had very high bounce rate on this platform, and because we thought, and it's common if you have a high bounce rate, it means very bad. So we start investigating what's happening that we have high bounce rate. So first we started with recordings, and we noticed that on files, when the user get URL to your file, they are opening it, going to call to action, they click download, and they closed the page. So in our case, it actually was a good sign that we have a high bounce rate, because it means that the users are able quickly to go to call to action, and just simply meet the goal of downloading the file how it was designed.
It will be great if we can go back and forth from the CUX dashboard and then what you're showing. So we will, all the attendees, including me, will have a better understanding of what data from CUX has been helpful for you to make these decisions.
Yes, I will do that. It was just an introduction to where was our starting point. This was just about the duration. So we just did a quick look on the journeys through the file pages, and we noticed that are super low. Sorry. We watched a couple of them, and we noticed that that's the journey, the user journey on the page. Actually, it's quite straightforward. They are just moving to the call to action. But this is just the introduction. What I wanted to tell you today is that we made the investigation about how actually they are. How actually they are behaving on those file pages. Because from the couple of recordings, we notice, as I said, that it's straightforward to go to call to action, click, and that's all. So this is something we would like to see in general, because as we see here, we have 3,000 of recordings that the users were on a file page, and this is something not doable to go through all of them and check how it looks like. So that's why we decided to go to the heat maps and see how they behave in general on each file. So this was our first heat map that we noticed. It shows us that users are moving or clicking directly to call to action. You wanted something to say? Okay, I'm sorry. I had some noise in the background, so I thought you were going to ask me some question. Yes. So this is a very good sign that that the users are meeting our goal. So the clicks are concentrated around our call to action, which means it's perfect.
Kamin, could you please show us like one of those recordings?
Yeah, sure. We can go back. We can search for file. We can just pick the random, maybe this one. Yes, it's actually nothing happening here. Here was some action, and that's it.
Right. So Tanner, if you notice, there is an option to skip if there is no activity, so which will save like plenty of time when you're watching the recording.
Yes, exactly. I think I don't want to take too much of your time, so that's why I don't want to go through the recordings right now. As you can see, they are very short, so I would like to focus on heat maps, because in this case, we cannot read pretty much nothing from the recordings. First, it's too much of them to see what's going on with the single file pages, and they are actually too short.
Kevin, that brings me another question. So you mentioned there are nearly 3,000 recordings in there.
Yes.
How long did it take to accumulate that many recordings on an average?
Well, we can check. So this is a 16th of September. And the first one, it's 15 of June.
Okay, so which means it's like it took like nearly 3 months just to get 3,000 recordings. I just want to record this because the offer comes with nearly like 10,000 recordings. So which is going to be like at least it's going to take like 6 months to get all the recordings, and you obviously have to keep on updating your website when you see a lot of insights from your websites. So the amount of recordings that's offered by CUX under the pricing plans are like more than sufficient. I just want to record that. Thank you.
Exactly. You're welcome. I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. So I would like to clarify that the file page that I'm referring to right now, it's 1,000. It's actually almost 1,000 of the pages or sub pages that they have similar skeleton. They have the name in the same. Mostly, they have a file name in the same place that the other ones. They have call to action in the same place. So this is something we can translate to e-commerce, where we have also the 100 or 1,000 sub pages that they have similar skeleton. I hope now it's a little bit more clear. So getting back to our research, in our case it was a file, but in your case it might be a product page of your e-commerce. And yes, and this is a first file that we picked for checking what's going on from all the visits that they were on this page. We've noticed that the clicks are concentrated around call to action. So this was perfect scenario. Then we went to the second one, which is a little bit different. Still a lot of around call to action, but then it started to showing something around share button and report button. And the third one, it's again different. It's less clicks around call to action, some random clicks around the page. Also, I don't know if it is visible on a share, but there are also clicks on a thumbnail, which was not understandable to us. So we decided to check how they look in general, because as I said, we have already 800. We went through the 3 of them. They look a bit differently, but to get the complete picture, we can search for the file. This is a part of the URL, and then click to the grouped results. It gives us a heat map generated on the whole traffic from the pages that were on a search result. So getting back to heat maps, if I search for file, those are my search results, 833, and the group results will generate the heat map like accumulated from every URL. And now we see that yes, our call to action works. This is a lot of events here, but also something which was not visible on those heat maps. As the users are clicking right over there on the first link to share the file that allows you to send over the URL to this file, on the thumbnail, on a logo and on a menu, which is understandable, but also when it comes to download a file, we have also clicks here around on the privacy policy, which might be also understandable, but this is something completely not understandable for me, which is that they click around the bell, which is just the icon for this heads up here. All right, what we see right now is those are all file subpages. The complete picture, we decided to go by the extension, and first what we did, we started with MP3. Again, we are not going to check each by each, just directly to the grouped results. And we notice that if we take into consideration only the MP3 files, we see that, again, call to action is working, but also we have a lot of clicks here in this place. And now you have to know that on the MP3 pages, we put it there a teeny tiny player that allows user to just before they download the MP3, they can play the music directly. They can stream music directly from this platform. And our first thought was, all right, so if they are interested to stream the music, we should remove the call to action from here. Yes, we were not sure if we should make it lower or remove, but we decided, yes, just remove the download, the possibility to download the file. We are going to make a bigger player, and we just convert those pages, those sub pages to the streaming only pages. And we were super happy about this idea. We almost start developing those changes, but then just before we sign off the changes, we did something which my son is really love to do, which is asking questions. Okay, why? Or what happened?
Kamil, can you show a bit about how the waterfall has been helpful for you to make decisions?
Well, I would just like to show you something here.
Okay.
Because yes, we arrived to the point that we made a big decision. So right now we decided that we're going to redesign this page. We see that the people are using the player here, and just before we signed off the changes, we checked, okay, just let me show how this is going to be on tablet, for example, or on the mobile, of course. And now we have the plot twist. No one used the player on the mobile devices or on the tablet devices. They only click to download a file. In case if we change, if we make a change, as I said just before, then we will make a very bad decision, because we disallow people to download the MP3 files. And now you can ask why, and the answer is very simple. The player that we put for the MP3 files, it was written in Flash. So basically, the visitors from tablet, from the mobile devices, they simply didn't notice that here is some widget. So the conclusion from this story, from this research we did, first is it's impossible to build a complete picture of the behavior, especially on a big sites with the multiple sub pages, especially with the e-commerce. It's impossible to create a complete picture of the behavior in your head. That's why I advise to not only go page by page, but also to see the aggregated from all URLs the behaviors and see how people interact in general. Then to start filtering by the groups, because as we saw, it also may be different in the context of the part of the category or subcategory. And the third thing, which is the most important, I guess, before we make any decision, please ask at least five times why, and go deeper and filter how much as possible to see those interactions from the different point of views. And those are three lessons we learned about the platform that we analyzed, and also how to make research using CUX.
Kamal, could you please turn on the screen sharing and show us a bit about how you have been using the waterfall stats to arrive at decisions?
All right. This is something I would like to share in the next webinar if we can.
Would it be possible to go back to the demo site and show us? Because I think Tanner was not available for the previous webinar, so it will be great if you can.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure, we can do that. Okay, I thought I can prepare some use case that we did already, but it's not a problem to make it live.
It is a major differentiator between products like Hotjar and CUX. So it will be really important for us to see how that has been helpful to make decisions that has been bringing you profits.
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again. Please tell me if it is visible.
Yes.
So this is our demo page. With this case, we have to use a bit more imagination than previously. Let's imagine that our goal is user has to send us a contact form, which is typical case, but we would like to know how many users sent us the contact page that they were on the about page, and during the visit on the about page, they opened the model, they closed the model, then they went to contact page, and then actually they sent the information, the form. So as you can see, it's not only the journey from page to page, but it also contains some events like clicking to the button, opening the modal, then closing the modal, and also go the journey through the form. So what we did here, we basically defined set of the events. This calls modal and submit. So first, we would like to see, or we would like to get the number of the visitors that they opened about page. So the event is the page load, and we would like to load the page about.html. Next thing is we would like to this model be opened. So we pick the click, and this is the XPath to the element. I know this may look scary. If you like to check what's the XPath to this element, with the Chrome browser you can click right, then inspect, and now this element will be highlighted here in the console, and you can check basically the class. You can look for the class attribute or for the ID. In our case, we have classes, and those are btn primary and btn LG. And if we start typing btn primary, the tools will look for all the XPath that they contain the phrase you already started typing, that they match to the event click. It means it will search for the all matching parts to the where the clicks happened. Then we should pick the suggestion. Yes, we don't have to type all the things here. Then we are doing the same with this X button. Yes, and in our case, it's again click. I already search and put the XPath here. Then we want to load the page contact. And now we can analyze the whole form. For demo purposes, I did only the focus on the name, because for the forms we can actually measure for default events. Focus in is when, just let me close it, when the user clicks here. The second change is when I change the value here, and focus out is when I click elsewhere, that the focus on this element disappeared. And the last one is, of course, when we submit the form. I picked only the focus. Element is name. I chose this one the same way I did with the button previously. I found the ID. I start typing name, and this is the XPath for the first input. And then I would like to see how many submits were done on the contact form. And then we see the chart that tell us that for 4 visits that they were on about page, we have only 25% that opened modal, which is 1 visit. Then the same amount of the visitors that they opened the modal, they closed, but no one went to the contact page. And this chart was generated based on the last month. We can change the date range to get a little bit more informations. This is how it looks like based on the traffic from previous months. And the best part of the waterfall is that, except the numbers of the first of the visits and drop-off percentage, we can on each step we can click view and see the recordings, and this is the most important part. Those are filtered recordings that shows us how many, or they're showing us the visitors that they opened page, about that they open model, but they didn't close the model. So you can see exactly what happened that the user didn't do this action. I hope it's understandable, more or less. So please let me know if you have any questions to that.
Yes, so Tanner has a few points to add there. So Tanner would like to see form analysis as something that will analyze the form automatically, since it's also in the HTML. So Tanner, just want to add a few words here based on plenty of user feedback. So I think it was Rob who mentioned that form being a part of the funnel is what CUX differentiates from the rest of the tools, which falls under the same category. The reason is, whenever you fill up a form, it should be a part of the funnel, because that is when you can understand where the traffic comes from, what are the pages they have visited, and how far they go to fill up the form, instead of you just have a form analysis separately, and then you can see, you can just use tools like Paperform to see how many steps they have been filling in, but you will never get the data of where they have actually started coming from and how far they go. So that is why we have a form analysis as well. Francisco, are you around?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Great.
Yes.
Yes. Before we move on to the rest of the things, I would like to hear a few words about your experience with CUX.
Yes, sure. So I agreed to speak on this webinar with Sampat because I saw a lot of comments that were kind of they didn't get what CUX could help on your project. They didn't get how you can improve your website and how you can improve your revenues. That's something I can comprehend, because if you have a money site, whether you're an affiliate marketing or you manage an e-commerce, the first things you should try to understand is how the users move in your site, how they watch your pages, how they try to do things along their pages. So other tools which only do heat maps or recordings are not that they don't go too deep like our CUX goes with the waterfall. And yes, I agreed to speak in this webinar because I'm just a regular person who doesn't know a lot about coding. And as soon as I get the deal, I implemented it on my website, and within 1 or 2 days, I made back the whole amount of money, because I was seeing how users were interacting with my sites, where they were scrolling their pages, whether they were clicking on some buttons. And then I made some web design changes to better agree with them. And conversion at the moment grew about the 30%, and they're still growing because I'm still making a lot of changes. because I'm just a CEO, so I'm not a really good web designer. But with CUX, you can really comprehend how your target, our users wants to navigate your site, how the users want to move between pages, click on the items. And I found it really helpful on my projects. Even then that I made my agency where I work Byte, because we manage a lot of e-commerce that generates around 5 million sessions per month, and they are really into conversion rate optimization. And the CUX is the only one tool that makes you really see what users are doing, even in real time, and help you making those changes that at the end of the day make the money to the website. I think people that are not buying the deal are making a huge mistake, because I bought a lot of lifetime deals during these 2 years. I didn't know, I didn't find a really good one, but CUX for now is being one of the best, because at the end of the day, if you made your money back in just 2 days, you then want to share this experience with other users. That's why I'm here talking. Somebody's not paying me, Kevin neither. So I'm just here because I'm just a regular guy, and want others, other marketers, other people that are working on web marketing, or they just making sites and especially working on the web. I want them to better understand how CUX can be as simple as that, because it's just a script. You can, if you don't know anything about code, you can just implement it with GTM, which is really easy. You just have to take an HTML module, and that's it. And also it starts as soon as you implement it on the site. So you buy in the next 5 minutes, you are already seeing what visitors are doing, and you can already make the changes to improve your website, improve your conversion, especially, and also better understand your target. So I think CUX is one of the best LTD. I'm really grateful to Samtat and to Camille, because you're not only making me making money, but you're also making me more passionate about how to analyze how to analyze better comprehend to the web design of a good website, and that's it. Just before that, just after that, I just have a little question to Camille that I will pose. If in the future we can also filter the user not only by the device, but from the source they came in from. I mean, I can filter the users that are coming from Google, the users that are coming from Facebook, or their source medium.
Understood. Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing your success with CUX. That's really, I mean, it takes. I totally understand that it takes your time, especially after work. You have to chip in, and then you have to join the webinar. Sit with us for like good 45 minutes before sharing your feedback with CUX. So that's, thank you so much for that on behalf of
You're welcome.
SaaS Mantra fam. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome.
Yeah, see, you just put a big smile on Kamil's face. I can see that from the time you started talking about the product. So
yes, it's really Yeah, I don't have words to say what I feel when I hear those compliments.
Nice. So just iterating to what Francisco asked for, it will be great if we can have slightly better. I'm not sure if we have explored waterfall model that much, but it will be like very helpful if we can just filter out and see how many people have. I can still see that within the graphics, but it will be great apart from just the waterfall. Even on the recordings or heat maps, if there is an option for me to see how many people have visited at least 4 pages or 3 pages on my website, so that I can get those recordings, because that will be very helpful for me, because they also are the people who keep navigating within the website. And if I can filter them out and only have those kind of recordings stored, it will be very helpful for me to analyze more data. That's more or less like a personal request, but you can run. You can share this with the entire user base, people who bought this, and see what they think. If you find like a lot of people think that this could be like a good idea, then yes, you can try implementing.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, Kamil, do you want to take on Tana's question?
Yes. Yes. I'm looking. I was listening to you, and I was trying to answer Tanner. Yes, I will show you just quickly what I'm referring to, telling that the waterfall is connected to recordings. I hope my screen is already shared. So yes, as we spoke on chat, this is an event-based funnel. This is correct. And on top of that, we have the integration with recordings. So if we go step by step, we had the open about, open model, close model. And if we pick, let's say this one, close model, we have this teeny tiny button here, it calls view. And if you click the view here, which I'm going to do in a second, we will get the recordings of the visits where people opened, they opened about page, they opened model, but they didn't close the model. So it gives you a picture what exactly happened that they went to our third step of the funnel, but they didn't do that. It's a bit long, so I think we are not going to watch everything. But please tell me if this is something we are looking for. Yes, and the meantime, there is an. All right. Just 1 second. Do you see the screen now? All right. So we have the waterfalls. It's longer period. Close model. I'm clicking here the view near the name of the step. And now we have 3 visits. And those are 3 visits that they don't match this criteria. This is the result of the search. All right. You also asked about the URL tagging, remote user tests, responsiveness simulator, and live preview. Did you watch our previous webinar? Because I thought we covered all the features in our previous webinar. But if it is still something not understandable, we can quickly go there once again. Just let me know. So I don't think we can do it in the 4 minutes. I mean, I propose the following. I can, yes, if you can go, there is a published webinar, the previous webinar. If you have any further questions, please ask me on chat, and then we can manage either next time to reserve some couple of more minutes, or I can guide you and explain everything on chat, or we can make a one-on-one call.
Perfect. Tanner, I just shared the link with you. So you should be seeing the recording of the previous webinar there. Yeah, sure. You're welcome. And as Kamil mentioned, that this is not the last webinar that we are going to do. There's going to be like a lot of webinars, and at least we'll have like one new webinar. In the worst case scenario, we'll have like at least one webinar every quarter where we are going to bring Kamil, and we are going to see what are the updates they have been rolling out and how you can use all of those updates. So we are planning to organize like more webinars, and Kamil is a guy who loves data big time. So I'm going to ask like a lot of data related questions to him. And yes, feel free to join us and ask him a lot of questions. And Kamil loves questions, by the way. Okay. If anyone else have any questions, please let us know. If not, we are nearing 1 hour and we can wind this up. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good, Kamil. So once again, yeah, sure. You're welcome, Benai. Francisco, once again, thank you so much for
thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Francisco, and thank you everyone who is being with us and asking questions and keeping this webinar interactive. Thank you so much, and Kamil, thank you. Big thanks to you. Keep loving data and keep giving us more data.
Will do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a good day, guys.
See you next time.
Have a good day. Good night, everyone. See you next webinar.
Cheers.